When we left off, we were sailing through the North Pacific, closing in on Washington after 25 days and 2,100 miles sailed from Hawaii.
Very cold out here, but this is the most sunshine we have had in over a week. Oh yeah, I see one of the little birdies back. I haven't seen them in a while. Still got quite a few rolly swells coming in really close together. They have been about 6 to 8 seconds apart for the last 4 days now, 3-4 days. We're somewhere off of Washington right now, about 47 degrees, and I think like 21 minutes north. And I think our longitude is probably something like 132, not even sure, 132 degrees west. That'd be my best guess. Sun's going down. It's been the most sun we've had in over a week for sure. I don't know if we've had many clouds at all today. It's been a pretty nice day, but cooler temperatures getting under the north. And we know from Hillary's parents, just inland, which is almost directly inland from us, maybe 400 miles inland, that it's about 90 degrees Fahrenheit today. It was a really nice day. We did not get that temperature out here. But the reality set in that with maybe less than 400 miles to go now till we enter the Straits of Juan de Fuca, that it's probably one of our last sails on Varuna. Our intention is to probably put this girl up for sale somewhere in the Puget Sound area and say goodbye and move on with Makara. So although Varuna has been great to us and we've loved her, probably just outgrown her, and for our next kind of endeavors we want something a little larger. We've grown to love Makara. We're going to put in a lot of time and energy and work into Makara to get it to where we want it. Plus we got it out of Hawaii. That was the big deal. We weren't looking forward to doing all these big back-to-back sails. So in just under 6 months we have done a little over 10,000 miles between Varuna and Makara, and this is going to be our last really long sail for a while. But at the same time we are hoping to not spend winter in the Pacific Northwest. That means we've got to get our butts in gear. Hopefully we'll be able to sell Varuna, no worries here. She's a great boat, already set up to cruise, ready to go. She's going to be a great little boat to someone there in the Pacific Northwest, and we'll just see what happens. But for now, this is going to be our last cruise on her. We're going to head into Straits of Juan de Fuca here, hopefully in about 2 to 3 days time, 3 days time. Other than that, we're going to have some tuna because we've been catching lots of it. So it's time to eat more tuna tonight.
Check out this sunset behind me. What a change one day can make in the ocean. It's amazing how fast conditions can change. Yesterday we had 25 plus knots of wind and some really steep breaking seas that were just like pounding the boat all night last night. It was a miserable night. Didn't really sleep. Just had wave after wave pounding us. We were kind of beam on to some pretty strong northwesterly weather as we made our way towards the Strait of Juan de Fuca. And this morning we woke up, we were expecting the winds to die off, but we weren't expecting them to die completely, which they have, about 4 to 5 knots of wind right now. And we just spotted land. That right there, that is Cape Flattery in Washington. Sun shines out, it's a beautiful day. And today we're coming to the close of day 25, and we won't quite have made landfall, but we'll be definitely inshore by this evening. Cooking up some fish cakes. I would say with the last of our tuna, but it is not the last of our tuna. We still have, after this, one whole more albacore in the freezer. We have been feasting, eating tuna a couple times a day, every day.
Looks very bright on you.
The sun's out and it's warm. It's amazing. Forgot what summer was like.
Alright guys, after 25 days today, there's land behind me. It's Cape Flattery back there in Washington State. It's the most northwestern part here of the United States, the lower 48. And then Canada's hidden in cloud over there. So we're pretty excited to see land. Last night was a really rough one for us. It didn't want to let it go. Just was testing us. We're up in the 30s with the wind, and we had about 2.5 to 3 meter swells, 6 to 9 seconds apart. So they were quite large. We took one extremely large one into the cockpit. It was the closest we've probably come to a knockdown. I don't think, we didn't quite get knocked down still, but we went over pretty hard there, and the cockpit was completely filled with water, and took a while to drain out. We took a little bit of water inside as well. Not much, because we had all the hatch boards in and everything, but it was a very large breaking wave that we were taking all night last night, and that was the largest of them. So we were expecting that again today, but it didn't eventuate this morning. It actually calmed down to the point where we had to motor a little bit this morning. That was not on our grid forecast at all. But now the wind's picking back up a little bit as we come in the entrance of the Straits of Juan de Fuca. We have the pole out here with the Genoa fully out, and then also got a full main. We shook out our reefs this morning. Well, our plan is to continue down the straits here through the night probably, and look towards heading to some sort of a bay on the Canadian side. I think we're going to go and check out a couple of things in Victoria, Canada for a day or two before we make our way down to Varuna's final resting point.
After a night of fighting with the strong tidal currents and sailing in place for a while, we were greeted by a beautiful sunrise and looked forward to the change of the tide and arriving into port.
It'll be about 25.5 days pretty much since we last set foot on land. Which will actually be longer than that, because we never went to land there out of Hawaii, so a little bit longer than that. But our passage, 25.5 days. We've got a little bit of laundry out here, just airing out because everything gets very moist down below to stop the molding. Behind us over here is the Coast Guard station. Do you know what the name of it is?
No.
Probably just the Port Angeles Coast Guard station.
A few cargo ships in there. There's a ferry that goes to BC that just pulled in. We're gonna head on in.
We called ahead, and we're gonna take the same little slip that we had when we were here with Makara. We've got a nice little end tie there. We'll go take care of that, and then I think we're looking forward to going for a little bit of a walk up into town here and maybe get
food and celebrate the completion of our long passages. Yay!
And then get back and rest and get work. We've got a lot of work to do. We're gonna take an early ferry tomorrow that way over to Victoria, Canada.
So many birds. There are like hundreds and hundreds of birds, which I guess you'd expect in here, but it seems to be a whole lot of them from when we were, I don't know, 20 miles out or so. All of a sudden, after hardly seeing any, just a few little petrels and albatross, all of a sudden there were hundreds of seagulls, hundreds of, I think they're called rhinoceros auklets, funny little like seabirds that are all puffy and dive underwater, and I'm sure some others that we don't know the names of. All right, there, that is Mr. Cedar Plug, and As you can tell, he's taken a bit of a beating, but he did an amazing job catching fish for us. I don't even know if we kept track how many fish, but we got a ton of albacore, a few mahis, nothing else, but he worked hard. There's some bite marks even in the metal. We think when we were first leaving Hawaii, we might have had a wahoo bite it or something. So that's some serious teeth to be able to bite in and scratch the metal, and wahoo are known for having very sharp teeth.
It's a very large harbour here in Port Angeles, extremely well protected, and that's probably why there's like 4 or 5 tankers in here today. Road trip today.
Road trip or boat trip?
Road trip, yeah.
Non-Varuna boat trip.
So we made landfall yesterday. We have been on land for less than 24 hours, maybe like 12 to 16 hours on land, something like that. And we decided we'd get on another boat. We're gonna head over to Victoria, Canada. Why aren't we going there in Varuna?
We thought about it, it just added a lot more complication with, we'd have to check in to Canada, then we'd have to check back out of Canada, back into the US, and we're kind of on a tight time frame still, so we decided to just make it easy, take the ferry, take that hassle out of it, rather than finding somewhere to either dock or anchor Varuna. We know this place well, it's easy to come in quick and go over there.
This is Port Angeles, Washington. There is a ferry that comes from here. This is on the Washington, United States side, and it goes over to Victoria, Canada, which is where we're going to go today. Pick up a rental car and check some stuff out for sales. So that totem you were saying was created, was in Auckland, right? Created for the end of the Commonwealth Games in the 90s, for the 94 games.
In Auckland, and then the next games were here in Victoria, BC.
In 94.
And it's called the Knowledge Totem, meant to represent lessons of the past.
While we certainly have learned many lessons over the past year, our learning curve is far from over, as we have lots of work ahead of us and some exciting future plans. But that's our next adventure. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please take a moment to give us a thumbs up, share our adventures with your friends, and make sure you're subscribed. Until next time.
See the plane, see the plane, the plane, see the plane.
Cedar plane?
See the plane. What happened to Hillary? Lost her.